What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for more.
Woo! Man, it feels good to be right about something. What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of showmefootball.com and arrowheadaddict.com. And I made that video last night. I debated whether or not I was going to make it. It was my last idea for a video before free agency started today, and it was my most favorite idea, my most favorite possibility for the Kansas City Chiefs in free agency, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to make a video on this. And I gave you all a heads up about this last night, about the Kansas City Chiefs potentially signing Jacksonville Jaguars offensive tackle Jawaan Taylor. And guess what? The first move of free agency for the Kansas City Chiefs, they go out and sign Jawaan Taylor to a 4-year, $80 million deal. I have so many thoughts about this. I was so excited when I got the notification. Wasn't able to make a video because I had work, of course, but I was so looking forward to coming home, immediately hopping on my computer, and giving you all my thoughts on this signing now that it has officially happened. So, first off, the full contract details. Jawaan Taylor and the Chiefs agreed on a 4-year, $80 million deal that includes $60 million guaranteed. The deal was negotiated and confirmed by Jawaan Taylor's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, who Chiefs fans should be plenty familiar with. But you know what? I love this for so many reasons. I mean, first of all, Jawaan Taylor, only 25 years old, and he was a young, up-and-coming tackle. And it's really a good deal to get a player as young as Jawaan Taylor, who has already played 4 seasons in the league, yet still has so much youth and so much experience at the same time. So Jawaan Taylor kind of fits in that same sort of time frame as the rest of the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. They're all still pretty young. Jawaan Taylor fits in really well. Now, the interesting aspect to the Jawaan Taylor signing, and something that I've now learned after scrolling through Twitter and reading some articles on this, and I mentioned this briefly in my video yesterday, but I didn't go super in depth on it. However, I did bring it up that the Kansas City Chiefs could use Jawaan Taylor at left tackle while they're bringing a rookie along or something like that. But it sounds like the Kansas City Chiefs are actually signing Jawaan Taylor to be their left tackle. And that would also explain why they gave him essentially $20 million per year. You don't pay $20 million per year for just a right tackle. I mean, that would make him, I think, the highest paid right tackle in the league. And so this has to mean that they're making him their left tackle, or it means that, you know, he's going to be their left tackle at first, and they still plan on bringing a rookie along, and then they could switch Jawaan Taylor back to the right side towards the end of his contract or something like that. But I said that even if you were going to do that, it was a good idea for Kansas City because it just gave you so much flexibility. It gave you more options, and it gave you someone who can play left tackle right now if you do decide to move on from Orlando Brown. And of course, this move does indicate that the Kansas City Chiefs are moving on from Orlando Brown. Ian Rappaport actually tweeted that out right around the time of the signing, that the Chiefs are moving on from Orlando Brown. This is their Orlando Brown replacement. That's not really a surprise. I think it was headed towards this conclusion when the Chiefs did not use the tag on Orlando Brown. And here's the reality. Jawaan Taylor, who is a younger player with more upside and is probably going to be better for the Kansas City Chiefs, given that Orlando Brown and Andrew Wiley, you could throw him in here, gave up so much pressure last season on the offensive line. But in the end, the Chiefs are going to be paying Jawaan Taylor probably a lot less than Orlando Brown was looking for. And if some team does decide to pay Orlando Brown, which we're yet to see, they could end up getting Jawaan Taylor for a lot cheaper. And you know what? That's a good deal because we were trying to avoid paying a good player in Orlando Brown great player money. And instead, they're giving Jawaan Taylor, someone that they believe could be their offensive tackle of the future, that money. I could definitely see a scenario where Orlando Brown just totally misjudges the market for himself and ends up having to sign somewhere else for less than he really wanted. And I think that's why the Chiefs were also comfortable letting him go, is because they knew that he was not worth that much and that most other teams also do not see him as worth that much. But you know what? Jawaan Taylor is a great player, or he's going to be a great player in my opinion. He's got tremendous athleticism. He's a better athlete than Orlando Brown was at the tackle position, and that's something that the Chiefs really missed when they had Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher. Those were guys that could run around with Mahomes and run the offense that he does and, you know, be quick enough to take those big drop backs that Patrick Mahomes likes to do, where guys so easily beat Orlando Brown around the edge because Orlando Brown just wasn't quick enough on his feet to keep up with his man. Jawaan Taylor is. He's a great athlete, but he also has really good size too. Like, he has the size to play left tackle. He's like 6'5", 6'6", somewhere around there, 620 pounds, and he's got 35-inch arms. Like, those are long arms. He has the size and the frame to play left tackle. I also want to throw out this stat that I found from Eric Eager, who formerly worked for PFF. He tweets, Orlando Brown surrendered more pressures in 2022 than Jawaan Taylor did in 2021 and 2022 combined. Now, worth noting that that was with Jawaan Taylor at right tackle and Orlando Brown at left tackle, but still a huge discrepancy. So, I mean, if you're just asking Jawaan Taylor to be an upgrade over Orlando Brown when it comes to letting up pressure, that's not really a very high bar. Like, Jawaan Taylor can very easily be better than Orlando Brown. And I'll just say this too. If you're concerned about Jawaan Taylor switching sides, which, look, there is some concern to Jawaan Taylor switching sides. I'm not saying that it's going to be a seamless transition. He has over 4,000 career snaps at right tackle and like less than 20 snaps at left tackle. But Orlando Brown, coming over from Baltimore, also had a very large sample size at right tackle and a much smaller sample size at left tackle. You know, it was a big question whether he could come to Kansas City and be their full-time left tackle. And we saw what happened. Now, that could add more fuel to the people being concerned about Jawaan Taylor switching sides because Orlando Brown couldn't do it. But to those people, I would say Jawaan Taylor is a much better athlete, and I think he's more suited to play in this offense. And look, I'm just going to give Brett Veach, Andy Reid, offensive line coach Andy Heck the benefit of the doubt here. And once again, this takes a lot of pressure off the Chiefs heading into the NFL draft because there's not going to be all this pressure for them to go and get a left tackle in the draft because now they have Jawaan Taylor. That was the concern last time. That was the concern this time. Like, at the Chiefs draft position, it was very iffy. You know, if they had the draft position and the draft capital to move up and get a left tackle that they want and that they think that can be good, and also fill all the other holes that they hope to this offseason. Like, that was going to be really hard to pull off. But instead, a lot of those concerns are wiped away because you found what you think is your left tackle of the future. And yeah, the Chiefs might still have to draft a right tackle, but that's a much easier task than finding a franchise left tackle. And now that the Chiefs paid Jawaan Taylor, I think you can assume that the Chiefs are going to draft a right tackle, or they're going to sign someone for cheap, or they have a plan for like Lucas Niang maybe to compete at right tackle again. I don't know. That's not my favorite plan, but I definitely think that the Chiefs aren't going to be spending big money on a right tackle or anything. I mean, they already spent money on a tackle in Jawaan Taylor. Like, I'm sure some of you guys are going to ask after the video is over, you know, what about Laramie Tunsil? There were rumors about the Chiefs potentially trading for Laramie Tunsil. I'm sure the Chiefs and Texans talked, but again, after the Jawaan Taylor signing, I don't see that happening. Like, yeah, it would be really cool, but you just paid Jawaan Taylor $20 million a year. Joe Thuney is going to get more expensive on the back end of his contract. Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey haven't gotten their extensions yet. They're going to want to get paid next year. If you traded for Laramie Tunsil, you would genuinely have the most expensive offensive line in NFL history. I don't see them trading for Laramie Tunsil, man. That's way too much money tied up into your offensive line. Now, many might argue that it's worth it because you're protecting Patrick Mahomes, but look, you still have to have money to spend on other positions. It can't just all go to the offensive line. And I would point to 2021 where the Chiefs' offensive line was really good, but it was very apparent that the Chiefs were lacking good secondary pass catchers next to Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. The defense needed work, you know. So I don't think they're going to trade for Laramie Tunsil. I think that's over. Now, maybe Brett Veach shocks me, but I think it's just going to be Jawaan Taylor as far as big moves on the offensive line go. But I'm rambling at this point. All in all, I love this signing for the Chiefs. I called it last night. Give me my props. Give me my credit. Like the video right now. Go down there and hit a thumbs up because your boy was right about this signing of Jawaan Taylor. But no, I mean, like, I love this signing, man. It's a great fit for the offense. I love the athleticism and the upside and how young Jawaan Taylor still is. I'm not afraid of him moving over to the left side. And even if he doesn't work out on the left side, he could still be a damn good right tackle for you, and he can play all along the offensive line. I love it for so many reasons. We still got a lot of free agency to go, though. I think this will be the first of many interesting Chiefs moves. This is just the first signing of many that I think we will see from the Kansas City Chiefs. They got a lot of work to do. We got to see what happens with Juju Smith-Schuster if they bring him back. I think they got to add depth in the secondary. We'll see, man. We'll see. But this is a good start. This is a very good start, actually. But I love it, guys. You know that. But I want to hear from you. What do you think of the Jawaan Taylor signing? Let me know down in the comments. But with all that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com and arrowheadaddict.com. And I will see you all in the next one. Go Chiefs!